So much news regarding the Saudi Pro League and Manchester United players. And no, I'm not talking about Bruno Fernandes. I'm talking about our goalkeeper, our number one, Mr Andre Onana, and his plea to his agent to find him a club in the Saudi Pro League. What does this mean? Where have these reports come from? I got you covered. We're going to go through all of that this morning live on FUTV. Welcome along to your 8 a.m. update show. It is press conference day. Injury updates coming from Ruben Amorim in the presser today. We're waiting for the lit news that hasn't come out yet, which usually means it's not that bad, but we will see later on as well. Got an update on Rasmus Højlund, why the U-turn on Victor Gyokeres and Manchester United's pursuit of him, and obviously it will update you on the Bruno Fernandes situation, as his agent came out last night and finally said something from Bruno's side of the affair and what is actually going to happen going forward with this. It's not dead, even though it's said to be dead. It's kind of weird, but we'll get into it anyway, and we'll go through all of your comments as well in the live section. Make sure that you do get your comments in if you're catching up later on. As always, we're going to get into what is going on with Manchester United's number one goalkeeper first of all. Let's get right into this news, everybody, because as you all know, I am not a fan of Andre Onana, and when any news like this comes about, I dig, I hunt, I try and find out the source, find out exactly what's going on. It's not difficult. It's all over social media, to be honest, and that is after the news that was circulating yesterday, and we covered it in depth on the Vanja Milinkovic-Savic links, the goalkeeper, the Torino 6'8" Serbian goalkeeper links, amongst many other goalkeeping links that Manchester United have had this summer already, with replacements or potential replacements for Andre Onana in goal next season. Now, Andre Onana has bought a new home in Manchester, and it is said that he isn't on the agenda or top of the agenda from people like David Ornstein. Fabrizio Romano, on the other hand, though, has come out and said that this is just an open story. There is another story in the Mail today about the players that are unsellable at Manchester United we'll get into as well. Andre Onana definitely not on that list, and it all comes down to the right bid coming in. The only place and the only clubs that are going to get anywhere near what Manchester United need to sell Andre Onana are the Saudi Pro League clubs. Now, the report has come out from Santi Orna, as you can see going across the bottom of your screen there. That's the news and that's the latest on this situation, which is Andre Onana has asked his agent to find him a club in Saudi Arabia. The word from Manchester United, and we touched on it yesterday with the Muppeteers reporting, United are prioritising a goalkeeper. Despite what people are saying in the media, they are looking for a new number one. Andre Onana, Altay Bayındır, and possibly Vitek as well, all being sold in one summer. 3 goalkeepers out, which leaves Manchester United with Tom Heaton. By the way, there is a new 1-year extended contract for Tom Heaton coming in to be Manchester United's third choice goalkeeper. Now, there are several different rumours about number 2s possibly coming in for Manchester United as well in terms of the goalkeeping side of things. Milinkovic-Savic is seen as a number 1, not a backup goalkeeper, and you're spending, it's not massive amounts of money, but when you look at Tom Heaton being a reserve goalkeeper, basically number 3, and you're looking at the potential of the young academy goalkeepers coming in as well into Manchester United, they're your 2s and they're your 3s. Like Bayındır, we spent, what was it, 4 million, something like that on him. That's how much you spend on a goalkeeper if he's going to be your number 2. If you're looking at spending just near 20 million on a goalkeeper, he has to be seen as a number 1 choice, especially when you are looking at the budget that Manchester United could potentially be having to spend this summer as well. It's not going to be a case of 10 million, 15 million spent on a player. That's a good reserve player. That any money spent has to improve Manchester United's starting 11 this summer. It's vital, and this is what has been going on about all the way through these last few months, from Ruben Amorim to reports coming out from Ornstein and Romano. It's all about Manchester United utilising every single penny for the starting 11. We have an abundance of youth talent coming through at Manchester United and a decent backup sort of team there waiting in the wings that we're probably not going to be able to sell on this summer because they've been at the club too long and are going to end up seeing out the contracts like many others, for instance Evans, Lindelof and Eriksson. This summer. So Andre Onana and the situation with him is very, very clear in that it has been made abundantly clear to him that United are on the hunt for another goalkeeper. Now, if Andre Onana wants to stay and battle it out, then that I could see also happening. And I've said this yesterday, but he is not going to be first choice goalkeeper next season. There is another goalkeeper going to be brought into Manchester United, and we're not going to be wasting money on potential goalkeepers. We cannot do it. We cannot afford to do it. And the story from Santillana is that Andre Onana is surplus to requirements at Manchester United, and he has told his agents that he wants out. He needs to find another football club, and his agent has been tasked with trying to find him a team in the Saudi Arabian Pro League. So Saudi Pro League, we've known this before. We've known there is interest from the Saudi Pro League, and Romano has said this with Andre Onana, and that is that it is open. He is a target for the Saudi Pro League teams. And he could fetch Manchester United exactly what they need when it comes to the money to balance the PSR. So United need a minimum. I think it's just over 28 million or something like that to break even on Andre Onana from what we paid for him. So I think 47 million. We're 2 years in now to that deal. So you're looking at half of that, or half of his contracts being paid off, which would just half that actual value. So United, if they sold him for 30 million, they would turn a small profit. Obviously, his wages would be off the book. It's basically just breaking even, really, realistically, with this. But could they get more out of the Saudi Pro League? Could they get 35, 40 million? I think United have made it very clear, and United have played a blinder in this one here. It's like Andre Onana is not for sale. He could be part of a team, and this is how United will drive their bargaining side of things. This is how they will profile Andre Onana. It will be, he's won an FA Cup in his first season. He could be winning the Europa League. If United win the Europa League, then United should be quids in on Andre Onana as well. And it just means that they can say, look, this is a goalkeeper that's been part of a successful team. We know it's not been, but they'll just say, look, he's won an FA Cup, he's won a Europa League trophy, he's been part of Manchester United the last 2 seasons. If you want to take our number one goalkeeper, you're going to have to pay 35, 40 million for him. That's what United will be doing. We're all like, yeah, shut up. There's not a chance in hell. Anybody with any sense will look at how crap he has been over these last 2 seasons. The odd game here and there does not cover the inconsistencies and poor performances of this man in goal. It doesn't. And nobody is convinced by him. I did a poll earlier on. I just put it out there. We've had loads of votes on it already. Do we give Andre Onana another season to prove himself? Or has he had enough chances? 2 options. 97% was the vote to get rid of him. He's had enough. Every single Man United fan knows that Andre Onana isn't good enough. And we're not going to be able to be successful if he is still in goal for United. But we can drive that price up. And if we win a trophy, if we win this Europa League, then Manchester United are in a fantastic position going forward. Because I still strongly believe that what we've been talking about, what Ruben has been saying, is that this is not going to be an FA Cup final win against City from last summer scenario where it's like, this team can do it. No, you cannot finish 15th in the Premier League and say that this team is good enough. The Europa League, you could say, look, we've done fantastically well, and I think we have done well in this competition, but we have started to prioritise it over the Premier League, and that's the only reason that we've managed to do well in the Europa League. We nearly blew it. A few times we've nearly blown this Europa League, but we've managed to show enough character just to get through it, in sheer desperation at times as well. We're not going to win the Europa League and then just say everything's all right. That's what I'm saying. And the likes of Andre Onana in goal for Manchester United, who I don't really think has contributed that much to anything good on what's happened this season. I really don't. I think he's going to be sent on his way. As long as United get the right bid. They're not going to sell him unless they get what they need to break even. That needs to be made very, very clear as well on this. But they are going to bring in another goalkeeper, because it does look like Vitek and Bede are also going to be moved on. Keeping Heaton in there on a rolling contract on cheap wages is just to cover the numbers in case and add that seniority. So it does look like it is going to be a younger clientele of goalkeeper coming in as possibly a number 2. That's how I see the situation. But both Bainer and Vitek being sold for profit, which will be good for Man United's books. If we get the right bid from the Saudi Pro League, then Manchester United could actually have 3 new not 3 new ones, because Heaton's still there. Another goalkeeper brought in as a number 2. Then you're probably looking at someone like Milinkovic-Savic brought in as a new number 1, actually making money off the goalkeepers we've sold and being able to spend that money then on Manchester United's outfield and starting 11. So, yeah, there is a lot of moving parts with all of the keepers, but if we play our cards right, and the rumours about the Saudi Pro League coming in for Andre Onana mean one thing: they're going to met his wage demands because they pay an absolute fortune to their players, and United could probably get a little bit of profit on the transfer fee from Andre Onana as well, and completely get out of a nightmare situation. You think when we're going into this season, you've got Anthony, you've got Andre Onana, you're thinking these players, you've got no chance of moving these players on, and we're looking at possibly getting 30 to 35 million for Andre Onana and 40 million for Anthony. I'd have snatched your hand off straight out without even watching any improvements that the players have made this season. Even if they got better and proved that they were good enough, I would have still snatched your hand off and taken that price right now, because nobody's seen this coming, and this opportunity for Manchester United to go into a summer with a trophy in the bag, possibly in the Champions League with that trophy, and Anthony being sold and Andre Onana being sold, and £75 million worth of transfer fees for them two players coming into Manchester United. I'd have said I need to go and put the numbers on the lottery and putting the Euro Millions on right now, because that was just unthinkable going into this summer. But that is where Manchester United are at. Andre Onana could be leaving Manchester United this summer. These noises are real. You only have to go back to what Romano said and everything that was said earlier on in that link with the Saudi Pro League. And now he was thought to be on the move in January, don't forget as well. So it's there. But don't forget, in all of this, and why the Saudi Pro League teams are moving very, very quickly, Club World Cup. So this isn't something that's just going to drag out. Look, the Saudi Pro League teams have got the money. It's all there, ready to go. And they need to get players in the first 2 weeks of June. So it's going to be an absolute free-for-all. We've said this before, but anybody linked with the Saudi Pro League, because of their participation in the Club World Cup, this then fast-forwards a lot of these transfers, and it's just going to open up this window because there's so much money exchanged hands early doors in this window. The normal transfer window period is going to take off completely. So Andre Onana, if he is going this summer, expect it to happen quite quickly, because the Saudi Pro League teams are looking to move. We talked about this yesterday with Bruno Fernandes and his situation and what's happening there. But with Manchester United right now, I think you can expect to see Andre Onana out of the door very, very quickly if this is a genuine story. But he has been linked with the Saudi Pro League before. We're hearing stories now that he's told his agent he wants out and he wants that big money move to the Saudi Pro League. He's probably been told by Manchester United that there's another goalkeeper coming in who is going to challenge him if he wants to stay, and he isn't going to get this want to make something of his career at Manchester United fairy tale story that he's thinking about. It's not going to happen. And I just feel like this is very, very positive news for Manchester United. Look, you'd never want to see a player fail and just be kicked out of the football club. But let's be honest, like, we have to be real and we have to be ruthless with what we're doing this summer. And Andre Onana's right at the top of that list. He just isn't good enough. So let's get into the comment section on this before we move on, because I want to update you on the Bruno Fernandes situation. So talk to me about Andre Onana, everybody. Are you happy with this news? Is it the right way to go for Manchester United? I'd be very surprised if there was anybody in the chat that thought that Andre Onana deserved another chance. Like I said, the poll that I put up on the community section on the channel, go and have a look at it and comment on there as well later on if you want. But it was at about 97% said let him go now. Manny with a super chat says, Adam, rumbles around a kid striker called Stasim from League 1, 7 million on transfer market. Any noise there? Nothing that I know of, mate. No. There is going to be tons of different players linked with Manchester United, but someone like that, again, it won't be significant enough to come into Manchester United starting 11. Definitely not. There is obviously a lot of striker targets. Going to get into them in a moment as well, Manny. Thanks for the super chats. Ray with another chat says, United trivia, whose second name was Wilson? Whose second name was Wilson? James Wilson? I think a young academy player. I think a few years ago, actually. In the last, what was it? Probably 12 years ago, something like that. 13 years ago. Something, anyway. A lot of people in the chat saying, good news. Brian says, wow, the Saudis could really do us a solid if they buy Onana and spend 120 million on Bruno. We'd be able to do serious rebuild this summer. We would be able to. It all depends what United drag in terms of the transfers as well. Look, we know that we've got money aside. We talked about Cunha and Delap and having about 100 million to spend already in June before the transfer window opens in its normal time. So we know there's money there. If we make some big sales, then Manchester United could really make significant moves. And big sales, getting these other players in without Champions League confirmation as well. Let's not forget, because if we win the Europa League, that Champions League money is going to be there to balance books even higher. So that, I think, is significant as well. But let's not forget as well, in all of this, when you look at it, I'm just going to do it now. Again, like we like to do this. We like to do this while we're live all of the time. Just so you know exactly what Manchester United are going to be offloading in Andre Onana and his wages and his contract. Again, verified. What annoys me about Andre Onana's contract is his base rate is 120 grand a week wage. It's not massive, but he's on 80 grand a week bonuses. So, realistically, Andre Onana, if he meets certain bonuses, and let's not forget, he was in at Carrington with his agents not too long ago trying to renegotiate his contract. I'm hoping he was just sent packing from that and told straight out, sorry, mate, if the bid comes in the summer, you're gone. That's how much we think of you. But if you break it down, including bonuses, Andre Onana's on over £10 million a year in wages. That's significant. It's very, very significant in terms of what Manchester United will save wage-wise as well with Andre Onana. Clearing that debt and that transfer debt off the books for Manchester United, giving us a clean bill of health there with maybe a little bit of a profit on top if the Saudis do come in, and his wages got another 10 million off the books. You can see how Manchester United's balance sheet is going to change with certain players leaving United and the amount of wages that they're on. And you look at the contracts that Ineos are handing out so far, there's nobody over 200 grand a week yet in wages that Ineos have brought in. Not one player that they have purchased so far, in about 7 players, if you include Heaven and Dorgu from January, not one player is over 200 grand a week wages, which is quite substantial, really, when you balance it out. And you're talking, and we know, obviously Onana's not one of them either, but still, when you're looking at the players that are leaving and you calculate their wages and what the new structure coming in is doing, it is significant. So, yeah, that's what we're saving with Andre Onana's wages, as well as making a little bit of money off the top of that as well. So, yeah, thank you everybody, by the way, already for all of the likes that are in on the show. Please pop a like on the video if you're enjoying the content. Make sure you have that subscribe button as well. We need to get rid of 100... We need to get rid of 100% the constant injured players. The goalkeeper, Mainu, for me, should be sold. He is just too slow for the Premier League. Look, no, Mainu in the right position works. I think there is a big push to get Mainu in as one of the number 10s at Manchester United. It sounds strange, but you're looking at Mainu competing alongside possibly Ahmad, Bruno, Cunha. Oh, it depends on Bruno, doesn't it? With obviously everything else going on. Xerxes as well, Mason Mount, all of these types of players. Now, what happens with Mason Mount? Probably we'll see Mason Mount maybe moved on next summer. Obviously, then he'll be 3 years into his contract. United could probably sell him for a cheaper price and get that massive wage off the books as well. That's where we're at with it with Mason Mount, I think. He's just, you cannot move him yet because no one's going to pay him. And United can't afford to lose money. But I've said this before, going into the start of next season, when that PSR rule changes, Manchester United working off the squad ratio rule, which is wages to revenue, and what the percentage is. Manchester United are third bottom of the Premier League table when it comes to the amount of revenue they make and how much of that is spent on player wages. We are about 17th in the league table compared to other clubs. So when squad ratio comes in, if United can stabilise, somehow win the Europa League, get into the Champions League, have a blockbuster summer this summer and get the right players that we're talking about, and get themselves set going forward, United are in absolute pole position to change how this club runs and change the fortunes of this club, which hopefully is then going to transfer onto the pitch and make Manchester United more competitive. Adam, who was or is our worst ever goalkeeper? Andre Onana. consistently. Like Taibbi didn't last long enough. Barthez was good, but calamitous, still better than Andre Onana. For me, definitely. I mean, Roy Carroll, steady, not good enough. Howard, never good enough. But I'd take Roy Carroll and Tim Howard over Andre Onana every day of the week and to Sunday as well. And honestly, I'm not just saying this because of what's in front of me right now. This guy, I've sat there, I've watched him. I've watched him live in a stadium. You've seen him on TV as well. There's a lot of people that have travelled everywhere with Manchester United. Look how nervous we look with Andre Onana in goal. Honestly, it is scary to watch it. You can feel the tension in a stadium when that man is on the pitch. And that's not me digging him out at all. He just doesn't have the capabilities to handle the pressure of being a Man United player. It's as simple as that. You could say he's unfortunate in the time that he's come into Manchester United with all the chaos, like many other players though. But there are certain basics that this guy just cannot do. And that, I think, is why Manchester United will be getting rid of Andre Onana. There's no other way around it, I don't think. And that, I think, is our worst goalkeeper. I believe that Andre Onana really is Man United's worst goalkeeper. When you look at other news going around as well, I wanted to just update everybody on the Bruno Fernandes situation, which is, obviously, we talked about it last night. We went into detail on everything that's happening with Andre Onana. Now, his agent apparently has come out and said that they have rejected the offer, but they are going to sit down with Bruno again and discuss his full demands and terms. So it doesn't really, it kind of makes sense, but it kind of just adds to the speculation side of things. Look, today we've got a press conference from Ruben Amorim, and Ruben Amorim is going to put this all to bed today. I can 100% guarantee that today the question in the press conference is going to be asked, and it's going to go straight to Ruben Amorim. Ruben, there have been lots of speculation and talks within the media this week about your captain Bruno Fernandes going to the Saudi Pro League, blah, 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 blah. And Ruben Amorim is going to come out and say that Bruno Fernandes is unsellable. He's not leaving Manchester United. Definitely not while he is there as the manager. So I feel like today we're going to get clarity and complete conviction from Ruben saying that Bruno's going nowhere. Now, what happens behind the scenes, I've said this before, Ruben talking in the press conference is Ruben just saying the necessaries. It's nothing what's going on behind the scenes. He can say that every player's doing well. He can say that every player's improving and he's happy with certain players' progress. He tries hard. Behind the scenes, it's his job on the line and he needs to change his squad to fit the way that he wants to play. So there is an element of what he may say today you can take with a pinch of salt, but he is going to say today that Bruno's going nowhere. I can guarantee it. We will have the press conference live here on Forever United TV later on as well, everybody. It'll be starting at 1:15. We usually get the quotes in round about 1:30 live, so we're going to go through all of them with you later on as well. I guarantee he says it, but from the stands from what was happening last night and all of the other reports and all of the updates today, is that Manchester United's Bruno Fernandes, his agent, has come out and rejected the offer or anything that's on the table, and Bruno Fernandes is still going to be a Manchester United player going into next season. But he is going to sit down and discuss Bruno's demands. Look, he's not going to get any more off Man United. He's already just signed a contract last summer. So what he's talking about there, or what this report is saying, I've no idea. Like, what do you want? Like, are you really trying to negotiate to try and bump up your price in terms of what you want to be paid by the Saudi Pro League if you want to move there? I don't get it. It's a weird one, but that's the update on Bruno Fernandes regarding his situation and the Saudi Pro League news from last night. But yeah, honestly, there was so many comments in on that last night from Bruno Fernandes' side of things. Money talks the end of the day, and you cannot ignore offers like that reported one of 120 million for Bruno Fernandes. United would be stupid if they just dismissed it outright. There will be internal discussions about that, if that is real, that is. But there apparently are, and get this, yeah, the Daily Mirror have said there's 4 players at Manchester United that are unsellable, and they are Bruno Fernandes, believe it or not, Harry Maguire, Patrick Dorgu and Ahmad. Honestly, the Daily Mirror, whoever wrote that article needs to be sacked. Because if someone comes in with 25, 30 million for Harry Maguire this summer, which isn't going to happen, then Harry Maguire gets sold. I'm sorry. United will be able to go out and get another centre-back. On the other centre-back situation, by the way, at the moment, the full-on update regarding Jonathan Tah, a report that's just come out from Court Offside, says Manchester United are ready and trying to make a move for the potential free transfer of Bayer Leverkusen's Jonathan Tah. Liverpool are also interested, but recently United have shown that they would be willing to pay what it takes to get him. So, yeah, interesting developments on the Tah one. That just keeps on rumbling on at the moment regarding the Leverkusen centre-back. But, again, that is a experienced centre-back for free for Manchester United, and that's why we're looking at it. So, when we say that Harry Maguire is unsellable, it's a load of crap, to be honest. And I think the only reason they've done this story is because of the Bruno Fernandes thing that's come out to try and get ahead of. They've just thrown a few names in with Bruno Fernandes, because I do truly believe that Bruno is unsellable. I don't think United would ever consider selling Bruno Fernandes at all. I don't. But look, you keep your comments flying in on that. Talk to me about Andre Onana as well, please, everybody. Get me your comments in on that. Let's get through a few of them now. Good news. Hopefully he pushes Jim and Co to back this manager properly. There's some real talent. Why has Ruben Amorim been treated like a second coming of Pep Guardiola? I don't think he has. I think we were just hoping that we had someone with a vision that could carry it out for a change at Manchester United and was going to stick to what he believes in. He does, but the players have not managed to handle it. Everybody to see. Probably wants to hear which players will be coming in, etc. Plan to start winning big trophies, etc. In the Bruno sense. I mean, I don't know. I can't see it being a Wayne Rooney situation where he goes in and just asks the club, like, what's going on. Like, you've sold this player, you've sold that player, what's happening? I need to know this because I need to know what's happening with my future. Look, Bruno signed a new contract last summer, so I think he already knows what's going down. Bruno will not leave this summer. One more year at least, thank God. Where would we be without his goals, assists, penalty taking, and his attitude towards the club? Well, nowhere is the question for that. Probably fighting off relegation is where we would be if Bruno wasn't in the side. According to the stats, Taiba is the worst ranked United keeper. Games 4, goals conceded 11, clean sheets none. Onana is actually 9th worst based on the stats alone. Yeah, that tells you everything then in terms of if you are 9th, then you are shocking. Honestly, I'm playing in so little games as well compared to the others. To be there, scary. We sold Ronaldo for the right price. Bruno is no Ronaldo, so we need to sell. We won't win a big stuff for about 4 years. It's the question, isn't it, where Bruno is? Going on last night's news, like, where is Bruno's head at? That's what you've got to look at. Like, what's he thinking? What is he thinking? I don't get it. Right, let's get into other news and everything else that's going on. Just checking over everything that's online right now because there's lots of news coming out as we speak. Yeah, in terms of the travelling squad for Bilbao, this has just come out right now. Significant news as well, breaking news. Bilbao's official squad list for Manchester United does not include Inaki Williams, Nico Williams or Oyan Sanset. So they've lost their 3 key players. There is no Williams brothers or Sanset for the game tomorrow night at Old Trafford. United are in the final. It is as simple as that. And obviously, they haven't got Vivian, their best centre-back either. 4 massive, massive players for Athletic Bilbao are out of the game tomorrow. They don't stand a chance against Manchester United. I'm sorry. Everybody told me to calm down after last week. I said it then. I said, without that centre-back in, I didn't rate Nico Williams anyway. I thought Inaki Williams is a shocking player. And how anyone can think that he was going to be any threat to Manchester United. Honestly, he was garbage. United absolutely mauled him. But that is breaking news right now, everybody. Inaki Williams, Nico Williams, Oyan Sanset, and obviously Vivian are not in the squad to face Manchester United tomorrow night. That is official, an official announcement. The travelling squad for Bilbao is without them 4 key players for Athletic Club, and that is fantastic news for Manchester United, to be honest. So yeah, that news just coming out that them players are not with Bilbao. Massive bonus for Manchester United in that game tomorrow night. Now, wow, that is big news for us. Wanted to move on to other transfer news to keep you fully updated, as I always do. Moving on to Rasmus Højlund, and lots of reports coming out from Italy. We talked about one about Juventus readying a bid for Rasmus Højlund this summer. Obviously, they're looking to move Vlahovic on from Juventus, and they're looking to replace him as well. Douglas Luiz is also possibly going to be moved out. And a bid of around 30 million euros is being proposed. Now, we know that is going to be turned down outright. Now, a structured deal, maybe something like that could come along for Rasmus Højlund, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to get around this or how it's going to happen. I've said this all along. I just didn't think there was anybody out there that was going to buy Rasmus Højlund or have enough money to convince Manchester United to let him go. It has to be 40 million quid for United to break even. Now, Rasmus's wages are not substantial, and that's how this deal can be done a little bit cheaper than, say, other players that we're looking at. Say, for instance, what United need to sell Mason Mount for. I think he's on 4 times as much in terms of wages as what Rasmus Højlund is. And obviously, United would struggle to sell Mason Mount, like they are going to struggle to sell Rasmus Højlund. But because of his wages, they can afford to drop the price a little bit. But still, it has to be about 40 million for Rasmus Højlund. I don't know how Manchester United are looking at this, are trying to make this happen, or they think they can make it happen, but it is going to be difficult. But Juventus, like we've said before, are well and truly in for Rasmus Højlund, and the bid apparently is coming. That coming from Italian sources as well. In terms of Gyokeres and what's happened with that one, there has been, and the reports are coming out, and I've read another story this morning, which has come out from Football Insider about Manchester United's U-turn on Victor Gyokeres. Now, Victor Gyokeres was out, and the Athletic haven't come out and said what, or backed up what they said a few months ago, which was that Manchester United are not going to pursue Victor Gyokeres. He's not a player that they want to be spending money on turning 27. They don't want to spend 58 million basically on a 27-year-old. That now has started to go very, very quiet on that side. And until the Athletic or Ornstein or whoever it is that was reporting this before comes out and says that is still the case, which they haven't done, then this is starting to look like there is a real U-turn on Victor Gyokeres. And Manchester United are looking to go in on Victor Gyokeres this summer if they do win the Europa League. It is, like we said before, all on United getting into the Champions League with Gyokeres. And obviously we've heard about Ruben Amorim. I discussed this yesterday. Ruben pretty much covered himself in that comment that he made when he said that he hasn't spoken to Victor Gyokeres, and we're not going to sign players simply just because they want to come to United because of the competitions we're playing in. If we're going to sign anybody, it's going to be a player that wants to come to United. Simple as, no matter what competitions we're in. But he did say that he's not spoken to him. So he's backed himself there. He's covered himself there, sorry. And obviously, if Gyokeres is available, if we win the Europa League, United will be in for Victor Gyokeres. The price is right. Like, his wage demands are not as high as Osimhen's. We talked about Osimhen still possibly being a United target yesterday. But his wage demands are not as much as Osimhen's. His transfer fee is not as much as Victor Osimhen. He's literally going to be around about just over 20 million more than a Liam Delap. And Manchester United are still in for Victor Gyokeres. It's not a dead in the water story at all, it would seem anyway. And there has been, and the reports are saying, there has been a change of heart at Manchester United, and there has been a U-turn on this, because before it was said that he was off the table and not going to be even thought of for Manchester United. Too much money, too old, wrong type of player. Not the case. Maybe they thought that we weren't going to be in the Champions League. And maybe they thought, you know what, let's just say something or make a statement and say that we're not going to be wasting money. We're not going to be spending that amount of money. Realistically, United probably didn't think they were going to be in Champions League football when all of these stories were floating around from the Athletic. But now, like we've just said then, with breaking news, everybody, and what players are missing from that Bilbao squad travelling to Manchester, 3-0 down, United are in a final. We can start planning for Bilbao on May 21st. One game. We're going to get through tomorrow night. Then we've got one game to get through, and we're back in the Champions League. The reality and the dreamland that we thought was so far apart are actually coming together. I think if you'd have offered us going into January this year, you're in the Europa League final, your Premier League season has fallen apart, it's not happening still, but you've got one game to win against either Bodo Glimt or Spurs to get you into the Champions League, would you take it right now? And every single one of us would have gone, please, God, yes, I'm having that. And that, I think, is where Manchester United are looking now. With Gyokeres, I think the reality is, look, let's start communicating and making plans here, because there is a very, very, very good chance that United will be playing Champions League football next season now. And Victor Gyokeres is well and truly on Manchester United's radar. He has to be. All of the top strikers that are out there and possibly available have to be on Manchester United's radar. You'd be stupid to say that they wasn't. And Gyokeres at 58 million is an absolute bargain for the type of player that he is. I mean, you can talk about your own opinions. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's going to make it there. Then who is good enough? Nobody thought that Isaac was going to be good enough when he came in. Do you know what I mean? Nobody thought that Liverpool buying Mo Salah back in. I know these are extreme circumstances and players here, but look, he is smashing it over in Portugal. Yes, he's destroyed the Champions League when he's been in it this season as well. It's the same for Victor Osimhen. Everyone's got their opinions on what player might work and won't work, but how else are you supposed to judge what the right player is to come into your club? Nearly everybody's had a doubt over Liam Delap. Osimhen and Gyokeres guarantee you goals. Guarantee you Europa League football next season. While playing in the Champions League and obviously helping you compete in that. That's what I think. Them types of strikers get you top 6 next season. I think that's real. I think that's realistic for Manchester United. I really do. Rolls with a super chat says, so with Champions League, they are looking at Cunha at 10, Gyokeres 9, Edison 8, starting and backup goalkeeper if Onana and Bayindir go. Yep, that's what we'll be looking at. They're the type of players that United will be bringing in if we got into the Champions League. Gyokeres and Edison would be 2 Manchester United targets if we win that game on the 21st of May. That's the reality. That's what we're actually looking at right now. And that is, I think, quite exciting. It really is. Very, very exciting, to be honest. Let's just see what else we've got in here. Get your comments in now on all of these stories, please, everybody. Gyokeres plus Cunha plus goalie feels like a Bruno sale. If he wants to go to Saudi, we can get past Spurs into Europe. Can you imagine if United did actually pull the plug on Bruno Fernandes and have the Champions League money and sell Sancho, Casemiro, Rashford, Antony, Onana? Can you imagine that type of summer? That would be blockbuster. That would be the hottest ticket in town to watch Manchester United's transfer activity if that actually came about. It would be crazy, wouldn't it? Onana needs to go ASAP. We got Onana and Inter got Sommer. The difference is a top keeper got Inter into the Champions League final. Our keeper got us out. Fair points, actually. It is. Like, Inter have gone upwards in terms of what they've managed to bring in. Manny with a super chat. Fix the spine means that you can spend less on a number 9. No, I don't think you can. Number 9 has to be the biggest spend. It always will be. And it's been the same forever and a day. The most money spent on a player is always your forwards. And I think a striker needs to be the priority signing for Manchester United. If that is a signing that's going to cost United 60 plus million, then that has to happen. It has to happen. You need somebody there to get. You need somebody there to get you the goals to guarantee you moving up that table. That's what you need. Ada Williams brothers are both out of the game. Yes, that is confirmed, everybody. Absolutely confirmed. Leo from Mash Bingo in the house tonight. Hello, Leo, matey. I think if Onana stays, it doesn't matter what striker we sign. The guy is leakier than the Titanic. Yeah, he definitely is. Nico Williams and Inaki Williams alongside Oyan Sunset and Vivian. 4 huge players for Bilbao. If you have just tuned in, is the breaking news this morning are out. Officially out because they've not travelled. So the players and the squad on the plane that has just been announced officially by Bilbao doesn't have any of them 4 in it. Obviously, suspension for Vivian after his red card from the foul on Rasmus Højlund, their best centre-back. Their 2 wide attacking players, Nico Williams and Inaki Williams, and obviously Sunset didn't play in the first game. He is their key player. But this is big as well. Do you know why this is big? If them players are out and they are struggling, Bilbao are literally hanging on to a Champions League place right now. And you know who's coming up behind them? Real Betis and Antony. And if Antony helps Betis get Champions League football, bidding war, here we go for Antony as well this summer. It's the clouds and everything are moving in. Everything is aligning. All United need to do is win 2 games. Well, draw 1 game and win 1 game. And we can change everything. I still think we're going to change everything anyway, because even if we don't get Europa League football, it's going to force our hand in selling players just so we can back Ruben Amorim. But still, wow. The amount of news that's come out this week and everything that we've been discussing, it's absolutely mind-boggling, isn't it? Like from the Bruno Fernandes to Onana this morning, United walking through the semi-final tomorrow night into the final, what the Europa League wins us and what it brings us going into the transfer market. Wow, it is, yes. And like I've said before, we are literally 4 weeks away from that window opening now. Less than 4 weeks away, near enough. So it is exciting times to be a Man United fan. Get your comments in, everybody. La Liga is really a shite league except for 2 or 3 teams. And Real lost to Arsenal 2 times. Barcelona out, Real Madrid out. No La Liga team in the Champions League final. Seems strange, doesn't it? But yeah, maybe a shifting of power within Europe. And credit to Inter Milan last night as well. What a game that was. Absolutely outstanding. Why does Antony look like a prime Chelsea Hazard at Betis and looks like a Bebe at United? That's because he can't handle the pressure, mate. That's all it is. Can we trust Onana won't sabotage United? No, we can't. But then again, there is mistakes all over Manchester United's side, isn't there? And we're going to need a lot. We're going to need some luck going into the final. We are. Look, I don't know how this is going to change Manchester United's mindset going into the game tomorrow night. I still think it's going to be a stronger team as Ruben can put out. No mistakes. Get through the first 20 minutes. Comfortably still in the lead. As soon as we score that first goal, then the substitutes will reign and Manchester United then will have a break from European football and we'll just deal with the last few games of this season. And hopefully we can actually get a couple of wins in the Premier League. I doubt it, to be honest. I don't see United winning another Premier League game. Got half a chance against West Ham at weekend, but I just don't think, I don't see it with the Europa League being priority. I don't see how we actually pick up the points. Say Bruno, Onana, Antony, etc. go. Would you trust the board to reinvest all the money back into the squad? Yeah, I would, because the running of Manchester United is Ineos's, and they are looking to turn Manchester United around to actually start competing on the pitch, because they know the bigger money is in winning trophies and competing at the highest level. If you want to be able to turn a profit, you have to be competing in the Champions League. You have to be in there winning the bigger trophies, further up and placed higher in the Premier League. Manchester United's revenues and what we would have brought in next season, for instance, if we win the Europa League and we go into the Champions League next season, the difference in the books and how much Manchester United would have made next season compared to this season would be absolutely staggering. And you add some of the transfers in on that, Manchester United could actually near enough turn a profit for the first time in bleeding years. I'm getting ahead of myself there again, aren't I? But Antony needed a bit more time this winter, I think. But everyone was is that pissed off about Rashford and Sancho, a bad period. Look, I don't think Antony needed time. I think it was the right move for him. Antony needed to go to Real Betis, and he has proved everybody right. It's crazy stats. I think Antony right now is, I think he's only about six goals, or 6 goal involvements, behind his actual full total for 2.5 years at Man United in just this 5-month loan spell so far at Real Betis. He's got 11 goal contributions for Real Betis. I think his total for United is 17 in his 2.5 years. So that shows you that's a player that has found his level in football club and is perfect for Real Betis. But them getting into the Champions League is absolutely massive for Manchester United. It changes everything. At the moment, all Real Betis are offering Manchester United is an extended loan for Antony, and that isn't going to float with Manchester United right now. They want to sell him, as they should, because they are not going to turn down money and a desperate need for changing everything at Manchester United. Like, if Atletico come in, then Betis are gone, and we know that Atletico are in for Antony. If we want to compete, then we have to sell. That includes Bruno, 120 million. You can't turn it down. We will never get an offer like that again. Always knew Antony was a good egg, showing all he has for Betis so we can claw back some money. Yeah, Erik Ten Hag days are being completely sieved out of Manchester United this summer. That's one thing we can say. Like, the Erik Ten Hag era is really being pushed out this summer. And everything and all of the bad that was in terms of players and playing staff this summer. When you look at the sagas that could possibly be leaving Manchester United, the Andre Onana one, the Marcus Rashford, the Jadon Sancho, the Antony, Casemiro could possibly be going. Eriksen and Lindelof finally gone. Like, Lindelof is not Ten Hag, obviously, but just in terms of the possibilities of major talking points and problems that have been going on at Manchester United within the fan base, debates, conversations everywhere. There's so much of that could be pushed out this summer. It's crazy. I see Spurs got to their date with Villa deferred. Saying we had a 2-day advantage. Yep, Spurs did get their fixture moved, which has pushed Manchester United's kickoff time against Chelsea to 8:15 now, because Tottenham are playing Villa at 7:30 on the same day. So, yeah, they've bitched and moaned that it's unfair that Manchester United are playing on the Friday night and they were playing on the Sunday, I think it was, or the Saturday. Can't remember what it was now. But, yeah, they've had their game moved as well now to the Friday. So both United and Spurs, let's be honest, like, tomorrow night could still go tits up for Spurs. Like, Bodo Glimt are no pushover. I would love it if they got knocked out, because I would prefer playing Bodo Glimt. I don't know. I've seen the news come out about Maddison being out and out permanently. I've not looked into it too much, but I'm not even sure if that is real yet. But just to go over all of the news again, for everybody that has just jumped into the show, thank you everyone who has liked the video, creeping up to obviously 300 live likes, which is mental. Well over 1,600 in the room with us. Thank you everybody. Make sure that you've hit that subscribe button as well to make sure that you are fully up to date with all Manchester United news. The breaking news first of all, which has come in while we have been live this morning, is the squad announcement and travelling squad for Bilbao does not include, obviously, Oyan Sanset is still injured from the first game. Their centre-back, Vivian, who is suspended. But the big news is the Williams brothers are both out of the semi-final second leg tomorrow evening. So no Inaki Williams, no Nico Williams, no Sanset, no Vivian for Athletic Bilbao tomorrow, which is huge. Honestly, that news pretty much, for me, puts United into the final, as confirmed. That's what it does. The scoreline did anyway, and you all know I was very, very bullish and confident that United would get through, but I fully expect Manchester United to not just cruise through the game tomorrow, but be in control of the game tomorrow. I expect a controlled performance and a chance for the fans to enjoy a night under the floodlights at Old Trafford without any drama. I mean, drama's great, and you can't beat them last-minute winners, but to sit there with our feet up knowing that we're going to a final, I think we've deserved that. I think the fan base has earned that this season as well. Andre Onana is looking for a new club, and he has tasked his agent with trying to find him a club in the Saudi Pro League. That's the news coming out this morning, and the main story that we've ran with. Bruno Fernandes' agent has rejected any offer from the Saudi Pro League for him, but is talking to Ruben Amorim, and conversations are going on regarding what he really wants and what his demands are. Don't get that bit. We'll see what develops from that. Today we have the press conference from Ruben Amorim. Obviously, he will put the Bruno Fernandes story to bed. Hopefully update us on Matthias de Ligt as well. So let's get to that later on. We will have that covered today from 1:15 lunchtime today. Live press conference reaction from Ruben Amorim as well. Manchester United's U-turn on Gyokeres is very, very clear. Reports today going around that they have changed their mind. And obviously now that United look likely to be heading into the Champions League, touch wood, I know we've still got a final to play and this semi-final tomorrow, but they have moved further towards actually looking into Gyokeres as a top target now for the summer transfer window. Super chat in from Manny again. We're talking about playing Spurs. Two things. Focus on not leaking free goals through stupidity. And who says Spurs won't be buried in icy Scandinavia. That plastic pitch and their form on that pitch is something that Spurs need to be very, very wary of going into this game tomorrow night for them. It is going to be a scary one for Spurs, I think. And that game isn't dead. United's, though, with that breaking news on the injury front for Bilbao, is, I think, done and dusted. Yes, Maddison is out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. I think that news came out, which is also a bit of a bonus. Never want to say that... I never want to sort of laugh at a player getting injured. I don't. But in terms of what it means for United, again, like Maddison missing for Spurs is big. It's very big for us. Because that is a game-changing player right there that can turn a game on its head like that. And that is different. Dark Muppet Rises, you just named a player for every manager since Van Gaal. It's not all Erik ten Hag, Adam. I did also say that it wasn't all ten Hag in the same statement, mate. So maybe you have to listen to that one back, mate. Don't think I'm just having a go at ten Hag. But let's be honest, he was shocking. And he bought some absolute shit. And you cannot deny it. So, yes. And it wasn't one in every single one either. It was just Lindelof and a load of Ten Hag players to get it perfectly right, buddy. Jason says that there is no goal difference. There's no goal difference. At 1-0, a loss could change everything. Not sure what that means, mate, to be honest. Maddison value will drop. Knee injuries do that. I think Bruno should go. It will not be... It will... Sorry, the messages are flickering through that quick. It will be not only for the good, but if Manchester United is intelligent, it will be even better for the club. That debate is going to go on and on and on and on. In terms of Bruno Fernandes. And please do drop your comments in on that as well. Talk to me about Andre Onana. Talk to me about Bruno Fernandes. And do get in on that news and breaking news this morning about the Inaki Williams and Nico Williams being out alongside Sunset and Vivian from that travelling Bilbao squad, which is official, by the way. It has been announced by Bilbao. They are not in the squad. But for now, everybody, that is us all wrapped up and done. Thank you, everybody, and everyone who has been involved in the chat, everyone who contributed, super chats, new membership, drops, everything. Let's just read through them quickly before we finish up on that one. Yeah, so Manny, Lee, London, Roz and Block, thank you so much. There was one more super chat I missed from Ray. Ryan Giggs, it was Ryan Wilson. Okay, that was the question earlier on. Thanks for that, Ray. Thank you, everybody, for dropping your super chats in and gifted memberships as well. Please pop a like on the video if you love the show and get your comments in on the comment section when finished. Hit that subscribe button as well, please, everybody, and I will have you covered. That's your 8 o'clock done, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you later on